welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions, brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back to talk about the newly released Halloween. This is the direct sequel to the 1978 original film, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. This picks up 40 years after the original, ignoring all of the other sequels, all 400 Halloween sequels.
Quite a few.
All right, Terrence, you got to see this movie. I haven't. I'm very interested, as I have seen the Rob Zombie reboot. I have seen the original. I saw Halloween H2O, unfortunately.
That's the one with Busta Rhymes, right?
Yes, I believe it is.
I
saw that.
Fights him or something like that.
Some bullshit like that. I saw that twice in theaters. Okay. Yeah, there's a story behind it.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, it was a girl. Anyway,
of course.
It's the only reason why anyone would watch that movie twice. So you saw this screening. And you're a big horror person. So what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you gave me the screening because I like horror movies. When I finished watching the movie, I didn't know how to feel about it. Like, I think I enjoyed it. Like when I left, I walked out. I was like, "Did I like that? I really can't tell." But then I kind of thought about it, and for the most part, I did. I wouldn't necessarily call it a horror movie. Like, well, it takes place 40 years after the original. The original one ended with him, Dr. Loomis, his caretaker, shoots him, knocks him out of the house, and he falls out of the off the balcony, and he just disappears. But that's the ending of the first movie. And This is a complete sequel. So apparently between that time and when he leaves, when he disappears, they catch him and they send him back to like an insane asylum or whatever. So he gets a new caretaker. These reporters or whatever, they show up and they want to interview him, but he never speaks. Like Michael Myers has never said a single word in any of these movies. And somehow he escapes and he goes back 40 years later to the town that he terrorized back in 1978. The movie itself, like, I don't consider it a horror movie, but then again, I don't know if you would consider the Halloween franchise necessarily a horror. I mean,
obviously people do, but it feels more thriller-ish to me. It always has. It's never felt like Freddy Krueger kind of,
This
when
movie,
I think horror.
To me,
not supernatural horror anyway.
It was almost like a drama. It's bizarre. It's written by Danny McBride and I think this guy named David Gordon Green.
Who also directed it.
Yeah, he also directed it. I think they did like Eastbound and Down together and things like that. So
what a weird combination.
It's very strange. Like, apparently, but they really love this franchise. And you can tell because they have a bunch of callbacks to all of the different movies. But back to the actual, the movie itself. It's not a horror movie to me because it's like Jamie Lee Curtis, she played the one that got away in the first movie. Right. And this thing has consumed her for 40 years. Like, after that, she was never the same person. They explained that she got married, had a child, but the marriage didn't work, and she's estranged from her entire family, actually, because she keeps playing this night out, and she's preparing herself for basically a showdown with this guy. She was amazing in the movie. Like, this is a horror movie. Like, she was really good. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis was
I feel like people sleep on Jamie Lee Curtis as an actress.
Like I'm sitting here watching the movie. I'm like, yo, I feel like she really went through this shit 20 years ago. Did Michael Myers really?
She's legitimately been preparing. She's been eating
crazy.
She's been eating Activia and shooting at the gun range.
Like, she's really good. Like, the dynamic between her and her family is like, she's like, they're like, yo, you got to get over this shit. This is like, it's like, okay, it happened. There's no such thing as ghosts. Like, this boogeyman guy you keep talking about, he doesn't exist, but he does. And they find that out at the end of course, there's no spoiler or anything like that. They find out at the end of the movie. Her family, I don't know the actresses and an actor that play the, she does have a daughter. I don't know the age. Like, the ages seem a little weird. Yeah. 78, 40 years. I don't know how old her daughter would be, because her daughter has a daughter who's in high school.
Okay. So that seems a little
had her like
super young.
A year after this happened. I don't know.
It was like super young.
The whole time I'm like, how? And then the father is like, he looks like he's like 10 years older than the wife, than the daughter.
It's a lot of weirdness going on in that town.
Super strange. But the granddaughter she's like trying to be the closest to her.
Right.
And eventually she kind of is like, all right, grandma, you wildin'. You're like, come on now. But again, shit happens. There's a lot of comedy beats.
Yeah, this is a thing. Okay, I want you to talk about that because this is a thing you were saying.
Since it was written by, like, when I saw it written by such and such and Danny McBride, I'm like, wait, he's bound down in there? So then once the movie started, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
There it is.
There's some comedy beats that I just did not, I'm like, that's, like, this dude just got murdered 30 seconds ago. That's not really funny.
Right.
So they kind of put the comedy beats in. Some of them hit. Like, there's this one sequence where he kills a babysitter. Which he is wont to do, but the child that she's babysitting is a black kid. Yo, that nigga was funny. like because he acted like you ever notice like Michael Myers don't kill black people. He just don't because he can't catch him.
That's funny.
But that sequence is just
that's hilarious.
It was just a very very funny sequence. That was like one of the funniest parts in the movie. But again.
How much
some of them,
that's a hard balance.
It's weird. Right? Like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, I don't like a lot of comedy in my horror movies. The show that he killed a lot of people.
Really?
Yo, he killed about 15 people in this movie.
Good.
It was crazy how many. I'm like, yo.
No, I like that. No, I like that. Look. Of all of the horror franchises, because, for those who don't know, I am a gigantic coward when it comes to these movies. Like, as far as horror movies, like, I'm not rushing out to see anything. But a Halloween movie I will watch because I generally enjoy the franchise from the ones that I've seen. But they never felt scary to me. Not like, the Friday the 13th ones definitely feel a little too much for me. Like I'm good, right? The Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, I'm like, this is getting a little gross. I'm kind of done with that. I saw a lot of those when I was a kid, and that just like completely fucked me up.
That Nightmare, the first Nightmare on Elm Street,
super fucked me up.
I saw that when I was like 6 or 7.
That's a mistake.
That
is not for kids.
It was a wrap for me for a while.
Like I'm not
ever. He catches you when you sleep. Yo, you really can't.
That's a fucked up villain.
That's awful. But back to this.
For me, I never get into this.
A lot of people, and like his signature weapon is his knife.
Right.
Like he can't just pick a knife up, right? He's like, oh, there's a knife right here. Let me kill this unsuspecting victim for no reason, just to grab this knife.
Right.
Like there's a sequence where he picks up another weapon to kill somebody just to grab the weapon of choice. I'm like,
I saw that clip. They released that clip. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
It's just like, okay.
But yeah, he just kills. And they still to this day never explain why. Like you still don't know. It's just like he just likes killing.
Yeah, he's just a crazy person.
Yeah, but and towards the end, like the end sequence was good. Like it was super tense, but the ending itself was just kind of, oh, this is how we're ending it. And it ended like an old school like slasher flick.
Okay.
Which I was kind of like, So it doesn't really end with any kind of resolution because you still don't know, is he alive, is he dead, whatever. But overall, like as a horror movie, again, it takes a lot to scare me. Like
right, yeah, that's always
I've seen so many.
Yeah, that's
but
always
like as a movie itself, it's really good.
Okay.
Like I was shocked at how good it was. And the acting is just like, again, Jamie Lee Curtis was really fucking good. Like she went through some real world just shit and she put it on screen. Overall, I would probably 2.5, 3 out of 5. Like I'd go closer to 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
But if you enjoy the series, I would definitely check it out.
Okay.
It's good.
All right. Well, there you go. Close to a 3 out of 5 for Halloween 2018. All right, guys. We will see you next time. Make sure you check out our full show, the Nerdpocalypse podcast. You can check it out on this same channel. There are full episodes every week, and you can also subscribe to the podcast in audio form as well, wherever you get podcasts. All right. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
Bye. You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.